magic, the occult, and religion.
Good afternoon and welcome to JUS News on Thursday the 3rd of May. I'm Dave Rhodes.
And I'm Kaya He. The headlines. Assaulted for 6th time. We hear from the Sheffield shopkeeper who's been the target of armed robbers.
Works of art dating back to the 15th century are discovered during restorations at Sheffield's Catholic Cathedral.
And they've been making bigger slashes than euro down at Falls Forge.
A 58-year-old Hillsborough shopkeeper has been the victim of his 6th attack. This latest with the second in less than a year. James Mahan reports.
It may be hard to believe, but this family-run newsagent on Langert Road in Hillsborough has been robbed 6 times in the past decade. The shop is run by Sheffield native Michael Wiles since 1976, and the latest attack, which happened in the past 24 hours, has left him bruised but not broken.
I heard some voice outside, just going out the door with a few papers, and sees this kid comes in with his face covered over, a hood up, and he tried grabbing till, but he didn't get hold of till, and then next minute he pulled the hammer out, and he started hitting me.
This hammer attack comes 6 months after Michael was stabbed 3 times in an armed raid just before Halloween. But no amount of bruises can take away the pain of losing his 80-year-old father, Lewis Wiles, in 2007, when he was dealing with violent jobs outside the shop. Michael has installed extra security cameras and hopes that it won't be 6th time lucky for the robbers who have used everything from wrenches to tent pegs when attacking him to get their hands on his cash register and cigarettes.
6 attacks in the past decade, a knife assault 6 months ago, and losing his 80-year-old father. Yet Michael Wiles vows to fight on and keep his shop open. This is James Mahan for JUS News in Hillsborough.
Polling stations across Sheffield will be open until 10 o'clock tonight for voters to have their say in the local elections. Charles Max has more.
Polling stations across the city open their doors at 7 o'clock this morning as voters have the chance to choose new councillors in all 28 wards. Labour will be looking to maintain overall control of the city, which they have held since last year. But this year there's an added twist. Sheffield, along with 9 other major cities, will be deciding if they want to have an elected mayor similar to London, and people in Doncaster will be asked if they want to keep their mayor, a post which has been in place for 10 years. There are 181 councils across the country holding elections, and polling stations will be open until 10 o'clock this evening. JUS News will have live coverage of the count from the English Institute of Sport tomorrow, and you can find out more on justnews.net.
7 medieval carvings have been discovered during restorations at Sheffield's Catholic Cathedral. The artworks have been hidden for 42 years. We've got this report from Matt King.
Forget cash in the attic. One Sheffield cathedral found 7 rare 15th century carvings right underneath their nose. These images were found while restoration work on St Mary's Roman Catholic Church on Norfolk Street. It's believed they were donated to the church when it was built in 1840. And lost for over 40 years.
What we want to do is to have them displayed in the first part of the cloister, coming out of the cathedral towards the sacristies. We're going to have 2 secure cabinets, and after they've been restored and placed on, I think it's supposed to be some sort of white plastic backing, they'll obviously be displayed, and people on open days will be able to go into that part of the church and view them. There's so many figures in, and there's so much activity in such a tiny piece of carving. This is the arrest of Jesus, and in it obviously we see the betrayal by Judas. There he is kissing Jesus, betraying him. We've also got lots of the guards who have come to arrest him.
Each piece of art has now been insured for £30,000. It is hoped that these 6th century old carvings will be retold to a whole new audience. Matt King, JUS News.
A Facebook group called Reopen Sheffield Ski Village, or Project Ashes, has attracted nearly 2,500 members. After 2 large fires this week, the group hoped to update people on any developments as well as creating a place to share memories.
East Midlands trains have been hit by the second one-day strike of the week. Further strikes by train drivers are expected over the next 2 weeks. The dispute is over changes to pension arrangements. Services between Sheffield and London have been seriously affected.
It's National Cystic Fibrosis Week, and staff at Sheffield Children's Hospital are doing something rather unusual to show exactly what's like to live with genetic disorders. Chris Craddock has more.
Over 150 children come to Sheffield Children's Hospital each year to be treated for cystic fibrosis. The genetic disorder forces sufferers to undergo a wide variety of extensive treatments.
Children with cystic fibrosis have to take this many tablets with every meal just to get through it each day. So staff here for Cystic Fibrosis Week are putting themselves through similar processes with placebo tablets. I'm here to find out what else they're up to.
Some of us are taking on the diabetes aspect of CF and testing our blood sugars 4 times a day and keeping a record of it, which is also important. It's, you can do the test and sort of like say, oh yeah, that's all right. But if you don't record it and monitor it, it doesn't mean an awful lot either. So that's an important aspect. I think we're all doing a shuttle run test, which is what we expect the kids to do each year so that we can monitor their progress.
On top of all of that, staff are also having NG tubes put through their nose so they can see what their patients go through a little bit better.
Understand how the children and the families feel, because it's a procedure that they've probably not had done before on a regular basis, and it's quite a daunting thought having a tube up over the back of your nose into your stomach.
By putting themselves through this, the medical team are hoping to raise awareness of the difficulties facing young sufferers, and they're taking a very hands-on approach to do so. Chris Craddock, JUS News, Sheffield.
Edward Muncher's painting The Scream became the most expensive piece of artwork sold at auction last night. It sold for nearly $120 million, but how do you put a price on art? Marcus Liddell investigates.
What makes a painting worth thousands or even millions of pounds? Is it the colours, the brushstrokes, the age, size, or is it simply something which catches the eye?
Here at the Cupola Gallery in Hillsborough, there's a wide range of art from local, regional and international artists, with prices ranging from £50 to £10,000. They're currently showing the work of Francis Bertart, and he's known for his colourful and poetic style. They recently sold one of his pieces for over €7,500.
Karen Sherwood's run the Cupola Gallery in Hillsborough for 21 years. I asked her whether price is an indicator of quality.
No, it's no price. It's no, it isn't. I have a customer who bought a Damien Hirst for £500. Yeah, he's woo in the money now. But the point is that if it's worth it to you, then it's worth it.
Linda Crapper recently bought a piece for over £6,000. But why was she willing to spend so much?
I decided that I really wanted a nice big piece of his work, because if you look into his work you can actually see a picture into the art itself. So it's nice and colourful and bright, but now we've got this big picture at home. When you look into it, it's actually smiling at you, and I just like his work, and I actually bought 2 more, but don't tell anybody else.
But there's no need to feel left out if you haven't got thousands of pounds to spend on art. These works cost just over £100, and who knows, you could be buying a future masterpiece. Marcus Liddell reporting for JUS News, Sheffield.
And now for the weather. How is it looking up there, Finn?
Well, it's been another grey day here in Sheffield, I'm afraid, with just highs of 9 degrees. And it's got decidedly chillier because of the high wind chill that we've been experiencing today. And it's not going to get much better, I'm afraid. No rain as of yet, but the showers predicted overnight, which will carry on through to a dry but overcast start in the morning. Sadly, that's where it's going to end, in that we have more rain forecast for tomorrow with highs of near just 8 degrees. But on the brighter side, if looking through to the bank holiday weekend, there's going to be some chance of sunshine and highs of 8 degrees. Back to you in the warm studio.
Thanks, Finn. And finally, Ponds Forge may be famous for Olympic diving, but last night it played host to the 8th annual Water Bombing World Championship. Finn Miles popped down to see what it was all about.
Teams of 4 were out in force dressed up in their most imaginative costumes last night for the annual water bombing competition at Ponds Forge. and some people were making a bigger splash than others.
That's all from JUS News. Join us again tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Magic, the occult, and religion.